Battle started.
Hello everybody and welcome to another Beyond All Reason video. Now firstly, you may notice that my voice is a little bit on the strange side, nasally side I guess at the moment. I'm currently a bit under the weather, so if there's long pauses it'll be where I've muted the mic because I'm coughing, so apologies for that. But today we are on the map Isidis Crack and we have two contestants. Today is iPlayDirty here, starting off in Cortex, and then their opponent is FlyingDuck, playing also Cortex. It looks like FlyingDuck is going to start here with a bot lab, which is a fairly decent choice for this map, and their opponent looks like they're also going to go bot lab. Now, energy is not tremendous on this map, but we'll zoom out and have a quick look so that you can see the map. Now this map, the crack along the center here is completely untraversable by any units, so you need to be a bit careful when doing that. The hills on the side can be crossed either way by bots, but at the top you cannot get any vehicles up there, so you will often see people go bots first and then transition to vehicles later on. These hills over here are not accessible by anything but air. Now don't get me wrong, you can kind of get right up to the cliff edge here and build up onto it, but you're not going to be able to get those metal points in either way. Now this map is obviously designed for teams, so you can see here there's plenty of triple metal points here, so expanding to these points as quick as possible will be key. Now the choice of vehicles here is not necessarily a bad choice, sorry, not vehicles, bots, to be able to get up and get these top metal extractors. This hill here I think may be able to be passable by an amphibious vehicle, but it's like takes such a long time to get up there and it costs so much. What's the point for two metal extractors? So starting off with bots, he's just pumping out a bunch of grunts. Dirty not doing too bad in this early stage, at least getting his energy and metal well under control. We will normally see players start off bots here and then later on transition over to vehicles. If they choose to stay with bots, however, we'll normally see a air transition instead. As the first grunts make their way across the map, Dirty does intercept that one very well and goes to attack the main base of FlyingDuck here, but FlyingDuck with 7 units to the 5 of Dirty here on the southern side of the crack will prove it to be a little bit difficult. This is just trying to contain his opponent at the moment, which is not a bad idea. Problem is now with Dirty trying to get in here to get a bit of damage, he's unfortunately fallen into FlyingDuck's trap here of just trying to get some units in, but only leaving 50 metal behind is not the end of the day, and the trade is a 1-to-1, so it's not the be all and end all. Now we do see this radar very well positioned by FlyingDuck, spots the raiding force here of Dirty on the right hand side, and it will not be able to actually gain any value there, losing 3 units for nothing. Unfortunate for Dirty. Dirty is also attempting to crest the hill on the left side, but we don't see much is going to happen there. Now both players really struggling for energy right now, and that army gets annihilated as predicted. Yeah, really struggling for energy. Wind is not super low, but still not in a great position here. Commander of Dirty has started spreading out though, with an intention to contest and contain FlyingDuck. These two grunts did manage to make it round the side here, but considering how close they are to those other forces, this guy will, even if he does go further up, the 2 grunts there will be enough. When he goes to move over to the left, he's going to get intercepted and will die very quickly. There we go. Dirty though, vision for Dirty, not quite so good. Got a big gap there. He is already solving it though, so that's not too bad. Could really do with a bit more energy though, because he's got 2 cons in base providing build power, but he's got nothing scaling his build power at the moment. He does have a con in the back corner queued up for it, but still. These guys are looking to do a good attack here. Don't think that LLT is going to get necessarily built in time. Some well-positioned grunts, though, is enough to stop Duck chasing. Or, sorry, going in, rather. Dirty could quickly close off on this force here by both sides. But it's just outside of the radar range that you see there. Like, you can't see it. Now he sees it just because the units get close enough. And now also due to how these guys have, like, been landed. Not all of them getting to shoot by Duck. This bottom side force could have proved a problem, but the armed metal extractor and the soon-to-be LLT will pretty much put a stop to that, so not really much to worry about. Still, though, now Dirty has, you know, a large amount of cons here, and yet he's still not scaling up his energy with this one guy at the back, and he's just sat now on a whole lump of metal. Really should be maybe building some solars with like 2 of these cons to scale up his energy a bit. See here, his opponent has plenty of constructors. He has 3 con turrets, 2 constructors on energy, and there we see the vehicle plant get placed down as well. Pretty good coverage. He's got 2 2 constructors there expanding. He's got an expansion con there. He's got 1 in the back corner as well that's also building metal, not metal, winds, and just scaling. Whereas, you know, Dirty here is not really scaling up as well. He's built 2 solars and he's now sat on a large amount of metal. So definitely needs to scale up his energy production here. Putting that storage down will help. Means he can get out more build power, because the problem is right now he just doesn't have the build power. And a minute ago he didn't have the energy. So this is the problem with Bar. Your economy scales up so much and you need to anticipate that. It just seems like this time Dirty's anticipation of getting all this metal was not quite as he expected. Now this force of mixed grunts and incisors would be difficult for Dirty to deal with a purely grunt army, especially with losing quite so many grunts without doing much in the way of damage. Normally an incisor is 2 to 1, so bear that in mind when it comes to grunts. Meanwhile, as well in the center here is looking a bit weak. Just 4 grunts, 3 LLTs versus that large group. Mostly because Dirty's comm is now up here, building some LLTs to stop this flank from happening. He's got a good force down the bottom here, holding off very well. It could be better if you maybe applied some pressure with that. Meanwhile, FlyingDuck is done well to push out from their kind of stagnant start position where they were playing very, very defensive. FlyingDuck getting that air lab up as mentioned earlier on. Both players actually with the same air timing here. Now Dirty's choice to stay on bots here will cost him more in the way of energy, but will give him more metal to play with. At the moment though, it's kind of the opposite way around. He needs really a lot more energy. The army value is looking very, very bad for Dirty though at the moment. That number is not a number you really want to ever see. And here comes some scouts and some fighters already. Now that is a big, big army and there's not much in the way to stop it. Attempting to slow it down with some grunts here, but this could just keep going if it's not careful. Probably some shurikens should come out here to maybe help slow this down. That twin guard will also help. And there's the shurikens. Now these units getting surrounded here by the grunts and from the twin guard fire is going to help very quickly whittle down these forces, and the shurikens finally coming in to just pick up the last bits. The fighters do come across from FlyingDuck, but not really able to provide much as all the units are already dead. So this is definitely switched initiative now over to FlyingDuck. The switch to vehicles has helped him drastically shift the tempo in his favor. The incisors just doing a tremendous amount of work here in the raiding all of the economy of Dirty here, trying to grab as many spare metal extractors and empty metal extractors as possible. The armed metal extractors will only do so good. Trying to keep an eye on both of these forces. That top force gets annihilated. Yeah, the LLT and armed mechs is good, but they're only so good. Would have been better to have these shurikens grab stuff inside of the range of the armed metal extractor rather than outside. Which he does do for that one at least. But still, Dirty now down a lot of metal extractors. Looking a bit tenuous at best. He has switched over to vehicles though, at least. Which, to be honest, with the amount of wrecks lying around, it would have maybe been questionable whether to stay. But he's just energy stalling this entire time. Still energy stalling now. Needs to spend that metal. And he just can't really stop this army. This force coming around the back is going to do a lot of damage here. Pounders now coming out from Dirty though should help at least. Energy storage. Ooh. Being a bit close to that energy storage and factory there where it blew up caused a lot of that force to get destroyed actually. Probably could have done a little bit more damage. Saying that, the shuriken showed up just as they exploded, so maybe they got all they could do, to be honest. But the mixtures of pounders and grunts here will prove pretty useful for Dirty. He does have this factory down the bottom as well, which is just slowly churning out brutes that he's just sending on the flank here to just apply pressure. These 2 pounders just been sent along the middle. I'm surprised they've gotten quite so far. They will die very quickly as soon as they're actually noticed and as soon as they go in range of that next LLT. Yeah, there we go. But still, there's a lot of empty mexes left for Dirty here to take. He is kind of losing units here because he's attention is elsewhere. This map's quite large though for a 1v1. Well, not the largest we've seen, but there's a lot to do. Your attention is split quite a lot of the place, and you can see here metal excess for Dirty is not looking good. It's due to him not having anywhere near enough energy, and FlyingDuck is actually taking the opportunity to fully build a Tech 2 factory. But not only that, he's got a Tech 2 con out already building a fusion. And in a couple of minutes time, that's going to be there, complete, and getting those Tech 2 metal extractors up as well. So Dirty really needs to make a play here, because he's building bombers. Okay. Because at the moment, obviously, we're in that lull period now where your opponent goes Tech 2 and no units are being built. And so you kind of know something's going on because there was a lot of pressure from FlyingDuck. Now, he can't see anything, but he knows there's got to be something cooking. Otherwise, why is there now all of a sudden no units? And there you go. With that tiger spotted, it's going to get the alert saying enemy Tech 2 units detected. Or something along those lines, whatever the thing is. But these pounders are actually getting quite a bit of wind damage there. There was at least like 5 or 6 windmills, if not more than that got destroyed. There's enough build power segregated that the con turrets won't get killed, but he has seen the fusion. But now with building all these bombers, is that what his target's going to be? The fusion? Probably. It's a bit of a risky play from FlyingDuck here, actually, to go to Tech 2. He probably thought, well, I'm ahead, so why not? Right, first volley of bombers did not blow up the fusion. The flak gets pumped out. Here come fighters to cause some problems. Fusion does go down. Tech 2 factory also goes down there from the explosion. And he goes for the con turrets there as a second bombing run just to try and, well, you know, neuter his opponent even more. Now, that fusion's wreck is still there. So, it's not necessarily GG, but he has to now, Dirty this is, has to now defend those tigers. But all of the Tech 2 that Duck has is all he's going to get. And while that bomber run took place, Dirty's been building Tech 2 himself here. So this is where it may turn around. If Dirty can survive the Tech 2 attack. Which he has, because Duck has actually turned units around, which is surprising. I mean, I guess he has nothing to stop the shurikens, so it kind of makes sense. Not only that, but you see Dirty here with a small raid with the bottom factory units just going around the back, picking up some more wins and picking up some metal extractors. That's like 6 metal extractors gone. There's a very, very low health Tech 2 constructor, which he's desperately trying to chase down. He manages to get it. And that's a big pickup there from Dirty. He's killed his opponent's Tech 2 factory, and now the fact that he's got the constructor as well, realistically he should be trying to grab that wreck, like destroy the wreck so his opponent can't res it. But at the moment he's just applying pressure as much as he can to try and keep his opponent down. His opponent lost quite a lot there. Now, don't get me wrong, he did manage to get the reclaim of the wreck of the factory, FlyingDuck. So it's not like he lost the entire cost, but it's still quite a big loss to lose. And on top of that, with both players accessing a large quantity of metal, FlyingDuck accessing a little bit more. But with Dirty here causing more problems for Duck, just grabbing these small individual windmills as and where he can. It's just causing more and more of an energy deficit for FlyingDuck. As you can see, the number difference there between incoming and outgoing, and the Tech 2 metal extractors are not going to help. But that energy storage will keep him going for a little bit. But building all of this build power might not be the best of choice, considering he has no energy production basically anymore. He does have a lot of metal though, which he desperately needs to be spending. But this loss of this metal extractor up here may do him some good, considering he can't really afford to be running it right now. He can probably just res it later on. But there you go. That's 20 less metal income he needs to worry about. Question is, where will that guy go now? Continue going south. There are res bots already ready to resurrect stuff. He should be trying to take that wreck out if he can. That would work big time for Dirty. Oh, now these tigers going up. Now Duck doesn't have enough energy to degun here. Well, saying that, He's clearly pressed the D-gun button. For those that aren't aware, if you're low on energy and press the D-gun button, it starts storing up energy. It basically puts everything else on hold so that you can store up enough energy. And as you see there, Duck now has the energy required, and it will probably soon switch. Yep, there you go, back to churning through his energy again. So good little tip there. But now with Dirty having his own Tech 2 up, and FlyingDuck's base looking like a bit of a wasteland, we'll see what happens now with... Dirty has missed an opportunity though. Duck is back up to Tech 2 again. And with that comes all the problems that Tech 2 afford you. And realistically, he needed to kind of make the most of that transition, which, don't get me wrong, Dirty was in a very, very, very bad spot before that bombing run. And that bombing run definitely turned it around quite a bit, but still kind of needed to make a bit more of an advantage of it. Saying that though, this is another good looking attack here, basically taking out an entire section of a wind farm, and these guys are going to push through, trying to focus down some of the build power here. Ooh, that's a lot of build power lost, and Duck's like, I've just built those, I just built those and you came in and killed them. Also now you see him just trying to grab what windmills he can again. Trying to focus more build power down. Oh, gets the next set of build power. This is some good micro here by Dirty. Just specifically trying to get in and focus things that he can and get them killed quick. Now the problem is that Dirty is doing a lot of damage here. Don't get me wrong. He's hurting Duck considerably. But he's also leaving a lot of wrecks in his opponent's base, and when we look at the metal excess difference, now Duck is accessing more, but there's still a lot. And right now, Dirty's finally got his energy sorted, at least, but Duck is now massively energy stalling, and the wind is dropping as well, which doesn't help. I don't see these guys being able to get much, really. They're just trying to pull off some attention from elsewhere. In fact, they're getting enveloped quite quickly, and with pounders there, it's not like they're going to be able to escape either. So, missed opportunity, Dirty with those units. He's paying attention to this side, which, to be fair, is more viable. With the amount of very slow-moving tanks here, I say slow-moving, they're not that slow, but I'm kind of surprised we don't see a couple of banishers in the mix here. Now, they are quite energy expensive, so that's kind of why we're not seeing them, but with the amount of solars and such, we can see Dirty finally building his first fusion, which will help that energy problem. He's also building bombers, and over here we see just staying sizes. Everything else is idle. He's clearly desperately trying to micro think. He's trying to desperately get that fusion up and running. These tanks just being sat idled here. They could have got some great value if they kept moving. There's a con. They have gotten 3 metal extractors, but still, this guy is going to continue up. Hopefully, he'll be lucky enough to get these extra 3 metal extractors up here. But we'll have to wait and see. At the same time, though, this is a pretty good attack here by FlyingDuck. Will they get the fusion, though? The bombing run didn't manage to succeed. Fusions looking pretty low. Oh, but FlyingDuck hesitates, pulls some of his forces out before they can finish the job, and the fusion stays alive. Well, the Tigers continue chasing down some rogue units that have managed to get around the back. This is quite a lot of wind getting destroyed here. But again, Dirty does have a fusion now, which will kind of help offset some of this damage at least. But FlyingDuck desperately trying to micro these tanks to get that LLT and then get round the back of these winds to try and dodge some damage here. But he's now stopped microing it. He did manage to get 3 windmills in the end, so not too bad, I guess. But no metal extractors lost in all that. He did lose quite a bit in the base. Lost that air factory yet again. It was sat right next to it. And the fusion at 20% health. Biggest problem for Dirty though right now is build power. And you can see him rushing that down quickly. That metal number is just going up and up. He only has 1 Tech 1 constructor there though. Meanwhile, on the opposite side, there we see the Banishers starting to make their appearance finally. Oh, FlyingDuck eating all of his other factories here. So with the appearance of Banishers, this kind of changes the fight a little bit here for Dirty. Banishers love a long distance drawn out engagement here. So Dirty needs to either go in on them or back off. He needs to be able to draw the shots of the Banishers away. So sacrificing some Tech 1 units may be the play. He does have a Tech 1 vehicle lab that he could use to spam scouts with to take the shots of the Banishers here, but not. That's an extra level of micro, basically. But already you can see here Banishers getting some good damage. These guys, unfortunately, will not be able to do anything, and as they go in, you know, 2 tanks have died before anything happened. Same again for these Tigers. That's, you know, 3 Tigers down. And a whole bunch more to that list. And they managed to get a single Banisher. But this is not looking good for Dirty. That was not a good engagement at all for him. And this is looking like a bit of a dangerous force here in the center. There's quite a lot of metal points that Dirty could recoup from. As you see, he's overflowing metal again. And he's still got these 4 metal extractors he can take, or 6 metal extractors. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not a super high priority right now, but he needs to do something with this factory on the right, whether it's spam scouts for the Banishers or just something. Check some build power down by it. I'm guessing he doesn't want to overly invest, but this army of FlyingDuck can push round if he's not careful. These Banishers just slowly will it down. No rebuild of the air lab though. 3.1k of metal excess though right now from Dirty. Ugh, that is not a nice amount of metal excess. The scouts here is, yeah, he needs these scouts. Just get them in front, soak up the shots of the Banishers. Surprisingly enough, Twin Guards here to hold this line. Still struggling over here though, over the Banishers. He doesn't really have a way of dealing with them. And because they're radar jammed as well, he just can't really deal with them at all. This small raid does pick up a Tech 2 constructor. I don't think they'll get much more than that, just due to how much build power there is. They're just going to get nommed up pretty quickly. He does decide to actually push forward here, Dirty, on this attack. Just trying to force him away. If he deals with the Banishers, then Yeah, he might be right, but he doesn't even have enough tigers here versus the amount of tigers that Duck has, so... But it was enough to pull away the force there from the force at the bottom, freeing them up to do something. He's, I think he's kind of struggling a bit here. He doesn't quite know what to do. Army value is at 68%, and that number is just going more up and up with the longer these banishes stay uncontested. And this is now about to be a very, very big problem. Dirty's factory is idle, and he has a large group of army on the north and to the right. Some potentially bad positioning there on the right-hand side of the screen. The Duck army kind of gets it surrounded a little bit. But the biggest problem is this army here approaching the fusion. Dirty creeps forward with his cloak. Will he be able to get a lovely D-gun? Oh, they're all grouped up. Oh, that is a tremendous D-gun. Great, great play by Dirty. The comp does go extremely low. Ooh, that comp down to ridiculously low health. They do get the fusion, and to be honest, even with that D-gun, I just don't think he's got enough, as we see the right side of the base here getting completely and utterly destroyed. At the same time though, Dirty is raiding the base of Flying Duck. So we may be looking at a bit of a base race here. Dirty, obviously on the short end of the stick here, losing his entire base first. But the win condition, remember, is not who kills the base first. It's who kills the commander first. And having no base helps that, but still. Flying Duck's comm has been spotted and is already below 50% health. And here comes the force of Dirty. Rather than defending his base with these tanks, he's gone all in, looking for that comm snipe. He's found the comm. Set target has been placed on the tanks. They're going to try and focus the comm down. Comm's looking really low. Destroyed. And Dirty managing to just go hell for leather and actually picks up the win there. Tremendous play by Dirty.
Battle ended.
Just shows he had a plan to finish when all things went wrong and managed to pull it off. Well played, both players. I hope you enjoyed this one, guys. Don't forget to do all of that YouTube malarkey, and I'll see you all next time.